Hello and welcome to my channel. This is your place for farm, yarn, and knitting. I'm so excited to be here with you today, and today we're going to explore ways that you can effectively use knit stitch markers to keep yourself on track with your pattern and on track with the knitting or crocheting that you've done. Now here I have two styles. This is one which is solid ring, and this is the other style. This style is the one that I use the most, and I'm going to show you why. I'll use the other style like for slip stitch stuff, but it's the hook that I use the most. First, this is one way I use my stitch markers. This is part of a Raglan sleeve, and here I have marked all the increases I've done, all the way up to 22 increases. And then after I hit 22, I will then count how many stitches I do have on my in my pattern, and then I will decide whether or not I need to increase or decrease. But that is one way I use it to keep me on track for my Raglan increases. The other way I've used knit stitch markers is I have finished this lace paneling, and it requires 13 stitches. And with the paneling, doing lace, sometimes I get my count all wrong. So by keeping the panel in between these knit stitch markers, I know that if the pattern jumps over a little bit, my count is way off and I did something wrong, and then I can immediately go back and correct and not have to unwind the whole thing, hopefully. But this helps me stay, it's like a guide to keep the lace pattern within the 13 stitches. So that's another way that I use them. Another way I use knit stitch markers is for seaming. And I don't seam a lot, but when I do, this is already seamed up, but I will pair the panels and work the seaming in between. I'll just work my stitches in between, and it helps keep everything flat and in line and no weird puckering or anything like that. Another way I use stitch markers is, this is already done, but here I had to, with this edging, I had to pick up 3 stitches and then skip a stitch. Pick up 3, skip a stitch. And so I basically marked all my skip stitches. And I did the same on the other side. And what this does is help you keep both sides of ribbing the same. So that is another way. And the last way that I have for you is increasing on my sleeve. And this helps know how many increases. I'll count 9. I know I'm done. I'll count how many stitches I have on my knitting needles, and that, you know, then I'll know whether I need to increase or decrease, and it helps keep me on track. So that is the way, those are some of the ways that I use my knit stitch markers. I can honestly say, when I first started knitting sweaters, I did not use stitch markers, and I never counted my rows nor how many stitches I had on. I went completely rogue, and usually the sweater ended up kind of odd looking, but I did it. And now that I've discovered for myself the magic of knit stitch markers and what an aid they can be, they completely transformed how I knit. So I hope this video helps you out. Let me know in the comments below what tricks you have that you do with your stitch markers when it comes to your knitting or crochet projects. I would love to hear about them and maybe incorporate them into my own. So you have an amazing day, and I will catch you in the next video.